Today, the Biden administration prepares a crypto crackdown. Bain Capital promises millions of new investments for crypto businesses. And Fang of Okcoin tells us about jumping from traditional finance to crypto and how to empower a diverse workforce. Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Tanea McKeel. It's yet another day of swings for the crypto market. Prices fell an average of 1% by noon Eastern, but major coins traded higher. Bitcoin gained about 0.5% since yesterday. It sat just below $39,000. Ether gained about 0.2% in the past 24 hours. XRP, though, fell about 2%. To talk about what's driving crypto volatility, here's our own Mackenzie Sagalos.
Three big themes we're looking at today: an unfolding crisis in commodities, oil, and fresh crypto policy expected out of Washington. Now, on that first point, Bitcoin looked to follow US and European stocks higher through the morning, and at the same time, the global commodity market is seeing heightened volatility as Russia's war on Ukraine rages on. The London Metal Exchange halted nickel trading earlier today after prices quickly doubled to a record high. It's yet another sign that, at least for now, Bitcoin and other major cryptocurrencies tend to track equities and are less tied to movements in commodities. But we are seeing a bit of turmoil in commodities, and that could ultimately dial up the pressure on cryptos. Now, in a note out this week, Credit Suisse said that Russian commodities today are like subprime collateralized debt obligations, or CDOs, back in 2008. While non-Russian commodities are behaving a whole lot like US Treasury securities in 2008. So AKA, you've got one that's collapsing in price and the other that's surging with margin calls no matter which side you're on. That dynamic, according to Credit Suisse, could ultimately be a good thing for Bitcoin after the war is over. Next up, rising oil prices. That stoked fears of runaway inflation and raised concerns among some economists that we're headed for stagflation, which is when you've got high inflation and negative to no growth. The overwhelming worry is that as oil approaches record high prices, the US Fed will then have to raise rates faster and more aggressively than previously anticipated. And then there's President Biden's long-awaited executive order on cryptocurrencies, which is reportedly expected to come sometime this week. That is putting pressure on cryptocurrencies as investors remain in wait-and-see mode.
All right, here are some headlines you should know about. First, as Mackenzie just mentioned, the Biden administration is expected to announce an executive order targeting crypto as early as this week. The order will reportedly direct federal agencies to draft regulations for cryptocurrencies over the next 9 months and study the effects of a central bank digital currency. Of course, Biden's been under growing pressure on both sides of the aisle to regulate crypto as trading volume surges in the wake of the war in Ukraine. One of the lawmakers pressuring Biden is Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren. She and a number of other lawmakers have voiced concerns that crypto could be used in Russia to evade sanctions. Warren is now drafting a bill that would reportedly impose sanctions on foreign exchanges that allow transactions in Russia. In effect, it would make these exchanges choose between doing business in the US and doing business in Russia. Finally, Bain Capital Ventures is going all in on crypto. The investment firm is launching a new $560 million fund called Bain Capital Crypto. About $100 million have already been spent on undisclosed crypto projects. Bain plans to invest in everything from blockchain networks to DAOs, and the company has previously invested in BlockFi, among other crypto businesses. Okay, on to our main story of the day. Today is International Women's Day, and crypto exchange Okcoin marked the occasion by handing out $1 million in grants issued to businesses working to bring more women into the space. The exchange also wants to raise its customer base to 50% women by 2025. That's up 30% from now. So CEO Fang spoke with Crypto World's Mackenzie Sagalos to discuss the transition from finance to crypto and efforts to build a more inclusive workforce.
I am joined here on Crypto World with Fang, who is the CEO of Okcoin, which is one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
You spent a decade with Goldman Sachs. Why did you leave Wall Street for Okcoin?
I think it's back to our belief and my personal belief that the system needs a revamp. We are seeing this unraveling before us, the violence that is happening in the CIS region. I think it has very long and complicated history to it. But ultimately, when I look at the world, we not only in the CIS region where we see a more violent format of this conflict happening, we're also seeing more division in the United States, in Europe, across the world. And a lot of that division, I think, ultimately comes from the fact that money is being manipulated. Price is not being used as a true signal of supply and demand. And there a significant distortion of what is actually happening in the market, which leads to misallocation of resources, which leads to over financialization of our sector, which leads to increasing division among different groups of people. So I think when the money is not fair and the money is not transparent, there are a lot of fundamental things that's going wrong in our society, and we have to fix the money itself. And that's why I feel passionate about working in crypto, working with our team here to contribute to building an alternative system that is more open and transparent and permissionless. And I think that is, that's what has to really make us feel passionate about doing all this.
You said that the cryptocurrency community is actually designed to be inclusive, especially for female entrepreneurs. And I am keen to hear more about your take on this and any examples that you might have.
Yeah, so I do find it interesting because when people talk about crypto, we talk a lot about the bro culture. And we do, when we look at our investor base, we do see that a majority of our customers are male and predominantly white male. However, when I look around my own team and I look around the industry itself, like all the thought leadership that I've been encountering and working with, there are a lot of female voices out there, both on my own team as well as in the industry as a whole. There are a lot of smart and driven female entrepreneurs and thought leaders who are sharing their perspectives and making a difference in the industry. I think what we're not doing as well is to really make that perception, change the perception that crypto is a bro culture, and change the perception that crypto is not for a female. I think the matter of fact is actually contrary. It is for everyone. We believe in crypto for all. So what we want to do is really to build a platform where people from different backgrounds can have a voice. I think it's not about the ending results. Obviously, people have different perspectives. We'll end up in the different places, but we want to make sure that people, number one, are not scared about crypto and are willing to actually take a chance and try it out. And number two, there are equal opportunity for people to learn about it and make their own decision of how they're going to do what they are going to do about it. So that's why we are putting a lot of efforts partnering with industry participants to make voice heard, particularly by those who are perceived as minority, but I think it's still having a strong voice in this industry.
So, on that last point, how do you plan to change the perception and elevate those voices?
Sure. Yeah, we have been working behind the scenes, but some of the most recent moves we have been making. Number one, we Randy Zuckerberg has been helping us with our brand efforts, working with Web3 entrepreneurs and voices to get more female participants involved in the space. We have been working with Natalie Brunel, who has her own podcast, Coin Stories, to really pick up, what is out there in the crypto space and really spread those stories, who can be very impactful for the industry. We recently decided to sponsor Anita Posh for her Bitcoin for Fairness project. She has been doing a lot in promoting financial literacy and promoting Bitcoin as the true money to people in need. So particularly emerging markets. And, I personally also think very highly of what she has been doing. So we're helping and sponsoring her in promoting financial literacy and Bitcoin awareness around the world. And also Satoshi Sarah, who has her Ladies in Bitcoin project launching soon, which is basically a educational and mentoring and networking project for female participants in crypto. These are just a starting point, and I think that we'll probably need to do a lot more to involve people from different backgrounds to really promote that sense of inclusion. Again, it's not just about male versus female or any simple tax that you may put on any individual. I think it's really about putting those tax aside ultimately and celebrating individual responsibility and individual education about what's going on and making individual decisions possible after making those educational resources available to more people.
Before we go, Block co-founder Jim McKelvey joined CNBC's Tech Check to explain why Bitcoin remains a unique investment. Here's what he had to say.
Bitcoin has some very unique properties right now, and I personally own some Bitcoin, and I think it's unique primarily because it's very decentralized, and there's no sort of central entity that's telling us what to do. It's this community, and it's the response from the community that's actually more exciting than the currency itself. It's not all upside. We don't exactly know what's going to happen, but Bitcoin looks like a very important technology, and we're exploring it.
That's all for today. Crypto World will be back again tomorrow, and we'll see you then.